Hey, how's it going, guys? Political Spatula here, back with another day of Propaganda Watch, pointing out the propaganda anywhere I see it. I would like to touch on a name I've mentioned a couple of times on this channel, and that is Hasan Piker, and I saw one of his videos pop up in my feed recently, and I kind of wanted to go through it and pick apart a lot of his points. Alright, so let's get into the video.
It goes through Michigan for 2028 after tonight.
Absolutely. But it's not just Michigan. This is just the beginning. These are never supposed to be swing states, and they will never be swing states ever again if I have something to do with it.
And what does that even mean? These states aren't supposed to be swing states. They were never meant to be swing states. That is a natural phenomenon of the Electoral College, or just people changing their views in general. Hasan is just straight up upset that people have a different viewpoint than him and were voting a different way, and so Michigan swung a separate way. And he is absolutely upset about that. This is the underlying tyrannical mindset that people need to start realizing the left has. It's the smallest thing sometimes.
I'm telling you right now, man, I don't overestimate the amount of influence I have. These guys do. Okay. I can get a lot of excitement. I can draw turnout from the under 45 demographic.
He is kind of narcissistic the way he talks about that. And I think the only people that he ever really rallies around his side are also extremely radical people that don't think, corporations should exist or people should have guns or everyone should be on the same playing field because they forgot that the Soviet Union epically failed and China treated its people horribly and Cuba is a failed state and so Vietnam and North Korea. So quickly have they forgotten history. He doesn't have a lot of pull. He just has a small amount of pull among a small amount of radicals.
Can't. This is why you have to have discipline. This is why you have to abide by the party line. You can't be out here doing that. You can't be out here saying like, oh, I'm a centrist Democrat and I think Abdul is a bridge too far. That must be punished. Okay. If there's one Marxist-Leninist doctrine.
Okay. Wow. And this is an extremely radical mindset to say if you think differently, you should be punished for it. He needs to absolutely be called out for this rhetoric and this behavior.
That the Democratic Party should deploy. It's that, okay? Follow the party line. But once that's over, once the winner is declared, no more factionalism. It's over. Abide by the party line.
Do you know who else disliked factionalism and disliked political discourse and disliked open conversations? Stalin. Hasan Piker just regurgitated Stalin's biggest talking points when he was the leader of the Soviet Union. Okay? We need to call this out where it is. One of the worst dictators within the world's history. And he is trying to push his agenda onto the people of the United States. We need to find this where it is and call it what it is. This is Stalinism.
He brought this guy who said we deserve 9/11 in to campaign with him. This is who Al Sayed is. Republicans can't just say socialism or communism. We need to call these people what they are. They're anti-America. They are running on an agenda.
Wow, I thought communism alone was enough. I wonder why Ronna McDaniel is now saying, yeah, just simply like saying communism or socialism is not enough.
She's right. He does have an anti-American agenda. He does support America's enemies. He went to Cuba. He's constantly pushing for Hamas and Iran, a group of countries that not only treat their civilians so poorly, but treat women even worse than that. I will never stop raising my voice about Iran or Hamas or the Houthis' treatment of women. I won't. It's absolutely inexcusable, and until it changes, there is no reason to support them. Women are free everywhere around the globe, but in the Middle East. We need to call that what it is, right?
Saying communism or socialism is not enough. Now you got to say it's anti-America.
It is anti-America. It is. A lot of Hasan's past statements have been quite anti-America. He's against the quote-unquote American empire, but will jump at the opportunity to celebrate China's expansion or Cuba's goals or any one of our enemies, like I've said in the past. He also said that the United States deserved 9/11. and brought it on itself, which, like, we have to call this out. This is anti-American. This is communism with no real plan for the future that'll benefit the citizens of the United States.
The Republican midterm strategy is to just say DSA, Hasan Piker, communism, radical Islamic style terrorism, Al Qaeda, 9/11, which is good for us. It's good. This is not a bad thing. It's just what you do with that message, how you suit.
And Hasan has been doing an extremely poor job about that. He's not flipping the message on its head. He's doubling down on supporting the enemies of the United States and communism, terrorism, and the poor treatment of women. Because he might not directly say, he's okay with the way they treat women, but he's definitely complicit with the way they treat women and doesn't care. So the way he's moving forward is telling a lot already. Let's continue.
Haley by only a single point. A lot of people are saying that that's almost a loss for El Sayed. What do you think?
What? Why? No one is saying that. Why would that be a lot, bro?
Okay, Hasan, let me explain something to you. That would be a loss because that indicates that 48% of Democrats in the area wouldn't vote for Abdul al-Sayed, okay? Because probably they don't like his stance on Israel. So already, let's say they either dislike Abdul Sayed so much they're either not going to vote at all or vote for the other guy. That is pretty much what that 48% means. Hasan does not know what he is talking about. I am not the only person saying this. He just doesn't like to look at the criticism, so he ignores it, and then it doesn't exist to him. Let's continue.
They keep giving us such amazing breaks here, and if we don't weaponize this, we're stupid. Just play this over and over again and be like, Republicans are not America first, they're Israel first. Like, Republicans literally care about Israel more than they care about America. Democrats are the only party that actually places America over the interests of Israel. It's very clear. Look at Donald Trump's agenda. We have to lean into it, man.
And the Democrats have shown that they don't care about the United States people. Look at the California fraud, the Minnesota fraud, the COVID fraud, the billions of dollars they took from the United States population. The Democrats aren't out caring for U.S. citizens, just themselves, just the individual, right? So, no, they aren't the party for the people. They're the party for giving countries as much money as possible and then complaining when Donald Trump does it. That is what they're the party of. They're the party of inconsistency.
Of the radical left versus Republicans who are trying to make life better for working class families, the Trump tax cuts, the work that we've done to bring down the cost of living in America, the focus on that, and these extreme Democrats are focused on just the opposite.
And Hasan doesn't even look up during that. He just sits there and eats because Donald Trump did all those things. He did do a tax cut. Remember the no tax on tips thing he did and the no tax on overtime thing he did, right? And all Abdul al-Sayed's points are for a bigger government, a bigger, slower government that has more oversight of its civilians. That is what they're pushing. That is what Hasan wants, just a bigger government. Average day Americans don't want less money in their paycheck because the government's just going to take that in taxes because they're running everything. A government that can't be trusted with our tax dollars to begin with. So what are we talking about here?
Abdul is me now? What the Bernie didn't even say anything about Abdul al-Sayed or anything like that. Bernie just said, like, he doesn't agree with my comment on 9/11, which was misconstrued anyway, and it was misconstrued 8 years ago. What?
I don't think he understands what misconstrued means, because meaning to interpret or understand a word, action, or intention wrongly. His quote was, America deserved 9/11 for what we did. I don't think there is anything to misconstrue. I think he is saying that America deserves 9/11. There's nothing more to say there. There's a pretty open and shut statement. So Hasan is pretty much was upset that the United States was going after terrorists before 9/11. The same group of people that treats women as poorly as Iran and Hamas treats women today. Is this a reoccurring theme with Hasan Piker treating women poorly?
Served in the FBI, has an extraordinary track record, and barely lost.
Also, they're framing this as like the terrorists versus the Department of Justice. It's not even a secret. They're literally like, oh, this guy, yeah, he's the Muslim killer versus.
All right, and no one but him brought up race. Let us make that very clear. He is the only person that brought that up. No one else said that. No one but him. He is the only person talking about race. He brings it up just to divide people.
Trump, the pair of radicals agree on pretty much everything. Now, keep in mind that Hasan Piker hates America, wants to destroy cap.
I like that he has to like keep repeating that I hate America so that people don't forget like why they're supposed to hate me. Because even then he understands that like most people in his audience still don't know who the fuck I am or why should they even care. It's like, no, you have to remember we hate this guy, okay? We hate this guy. Why do we hate this guy? Because he hates America. A reminder to all, we hate this guy because he hates America.
And he doesn't deny it either, because he openly supports the Chinese government's expansion, an Iranian expansion. So he can't deny it. And he's not out here shooting down the allegations. He's openly embracing them.
So, like, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all. Like, I don't think it's worth even touching that.
I don't think it's worth touching that, but Trump's a fascist. Okay, this is not someone interested in putting America first. Wait,
what do you mean? That low-key is the most American position. Yeah, he's talking about Trump being a fascist and then being like, look, there's a lot of Americans that feel a different type of way about this religious figure. He doesn't agree with it. And in the broader context of the conversation, he's just saying like, this is not a sad day because of the Ayatollah died. It's just a sad day because we've blown up a school.
That is not what he said at all. That's crazy. That is crazy how hard Hasan Piker is hitting this baseball out of the park to cover for this guy. That is crazy. And the United States doesn't just go around targeting schools. It is almost like the people in the Iranian government and Hamas use schools and civilian infrastructure as temporary bases, so when they do get hit, they can run to the Western media and be like, oh, look, they blew up our school. Like, well, no, because then NATO's like, oh, you were using that as a military operation. And Hasan Piker will never go back and correct himself. And yes, the most un-American thing you could do is refuse to condemn the Ayatollah who was for raping virgin women in prison while they were on death row. The most un-American thing you can do is refuse to talk about the death of a dictator who thought it was okay to rape virgin women in prison so they couldn't get into heaven. A religious figure. I'm glad Hasan said that as well. What a great religious figure for Hasan. Why don't we show all of Iran's human rights violations on screen right now so you don't forget.
I mean, he's just absolutely dangerous for America. Matter of fact, when we had a guy load up a car with explosives, drive it into a synagogue in Michigan, he basically could not really condemn him. As a matter of fact,
it's so awesome that these are the exact same lines of attack that he just withstood in the primary by Democrats.
He couldn't condemn it. What doesn't Hasan understand? Abdul al-Sayed couldn't say killing Jews is a bad thing. And Hasan's going to sit here and act like that's absolutely ridiculous for them to regurgitate. What is Hasan's freaking stance here? He wants to shut down all political discourse pretty much through violence is what it seems to me. He doesn't want to have an open argument because people like me destroy him too well.
And now the Republicans are doing it. Awesome. Great, by the way. Okay? Great. Very cool. That's number one. This is ironically what I was talking about when I said the Islamophobia coming.
And once again, no one else is making this about race at all, except for Hasan. Nobody. He's the only one that wants to target race. He is making this about black Marxism, and I'm about to bring that up for the next point he's about to spit out. And this isn't about race. This is about condemning the actions of Iran and Hamas and its treatment of people. That is what this is about. It is so funny that he can't even bring himself to say anything about that.
is that at least he got hit with all of this and it failed. He still won. Not only did he get hit with all of this, but he also got hit with this as hard as you possibly can be hit, but perhaps not so hard that it would actually throw off voters a little bit. The Islamophobia that Abdul al-Sayed received in the primary amongst Democrats was a little bit more sinister. It was at least designed in a way where it was maybe perhaps a little bit more subtle. Republicans don't have the capacity to be subtle.
Okay, and that is black Marxism. He is drawing conclusions between race and ideology that don't exist to further split people and radicalize people. He is using black Marxism. I want everyone in the audience to sit down and realize how radical the United States is becoming. And he even has a Chinese flag behind him. I just realized that. What are we talking about?
Will this be an about-face moment? I don't know. I hope so. If left alone, if left unchecked, this will make discourse far more toxic. This will make discourse far worse. Yeah, white liberal women lost their minds over Trump's Muslim ban, as they should have.
And that is a scary thing, that white liberal women would be against the Muslim ban. Because can we forget what Iran's doing? Can we forget what the Ayatollah told their prison guards to do? Can we forget what Hamas and the Houthis are spreading around the Middle East? Can we forget their treatment of women and any protesters? It's unforgivable. It is. It's absolutely unforgivable. And I beg you to, if you have a woman in your life that you care about at all, please like, comment down below, subscribe, spread this video around. More people need to be aware about how Iran treats women.
For a state like Michigan, I mean, my God, Laura.
Dog, you are a Republican. You eat Trump's asshole for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What the do you mean? This kind of divisiveness.
Yeah, what is Hasan saying here? Hasan is as divisive as he gets. The dude who glazed Russia, or I mean the Soviet Union, China, Cuba, Venezuela, Iran. He is pro some of the worst regimes around the world that treated its people horrendously. He is a rich communist. Let that sink in. He is a rich communist. It sounds as though someone needs to actually sit down and explain some of these deeper things to him so we can have a grasp on why some people would be against Iran or Palestine or against communism. There's a lot of history there, a lot of bad history. Well, that's all I got, guys. I hope if you liked the video, don't forget to comment down below, like, subscribe, and have a good one.